Alright, here's the thing. My rune crafting is my lowest level right now, and I want to do Tears of Guthix, but I'd rather that XP go to agility. So we have to train rune crafting for a bit and get it just a skosh higher than agility. That way agility is my lowest skill. It shouldn't take that long since soul rune crafting is like 300,000 XP per hour, and it's pretty relaxing honestly. I like the ebb and flow of it. And in the process, I actually got Rue, the cute little rune crafting pet. Look at him. Don't know when I got him. It was when I was rune crafting, but I don't know specifically when I got him, since he got sent straight to my bank, so it was probably when I crafted the runes and still had an inventory full of rune essence, and I got a magical thread, so then I had no room in my inventory, so I went to the bank. I didn't actually notice him until I was done rune crafting and I was moving on to something else. I wanted to kill revenants for a bit. I was trying some, don't worry about it. Because I trained up rune crafting, I was able to do Tears of Guthix and get agility XP instead. Then, because it's a new week, I hunted some penguins, used a weekly reset token, and had a chat with Chuck the polar bear. Yeah, I've got 242 penguin points stored up. Took about 4 weeks or so of penguin hunting with reset tickets. I know. Use the XP on Herblore. I know the last time I stopped using XP on Herblore, I regretted it, and I went on that whole Herblore XP campaign just to get 107, because I didn't have dinosaur claws. But this time is different, I hope. I can't stand agility, so I'm using all the penguin points on agility, bringing us within a spitting distance of 96. The monthly troll invasion reward gets us the rest of the way to 96. Just 3 more levels, which is 3 million XP, so that's gonna... With that weekly stuff out of the way, we can get back to work on some 99s. First up is crafting. I've got a ton of dragon hide, mostly from Big Game Hunter and Karapak. I spent almost no time tanning the hides because the lunar spell is fantastic. I don't know the exact amount you could tan per hour, but it feels like you could do a whole inventory in 4 or 5 ticks. You could use the invention machine that automatically tans a bunch of hides. It's probably, what, 40 an hour or something like that, so it does it over a long period of time. But I wanted the hides now, and frankly, it took hardly any time at all. It's not worth using the machine. I'd rather use the charges for alching stuff. And we're gonna need those. We're gonna need to alch a bunch of stuff after we're done with this grind, trust me. I'm gonna make dragon hide bodies out of all of this leather, and I'll get back to you in like 8 hours or something. Hey, it's 8 hours later, and here's the result. It might not actually be 8 hours later, as I'm recording this audio later. It's 98 crafting and a bunch of dragonhide bodies just itching to get in my auto alchemizer. A tasty 41 mil. For transparency's sake, I did have around 400 royal bodies in my bank before I started the grind, so if you want to go back and do the math and say, yo, the number of leather you have doesn't match the number of hides and bodies. You may be wondering why I went for bodies and not shields for the chromatic dragon hides. Royal doesn't have shields, so I had to make bodies for those. If I'm not mistaken, the Scroll of Dexterity only ever saves a single piece of leather when you craft an item that requires more than 3 pieces of leather. So by making 3 leather items, not 3 leather items, but items that require 3 leather, you have a chance to proc the leather saving effect more frequently since you'd make more items. 1200 leather could make 400 bodies or 300 shields. For green dragon leather, you'll save 1 leather 25% of the time, 31.25% of the time with the Artificer's Measure. Or Artificer, yeah, I'm gonna say Artificer because that just feels right. Anyway, 400 bodies saves 100 leather, 125 with the Measure, while 300 shields only save 75 leather, roughly 94 with the Measure. Saving more leather means you can make more items and save the leather again. There's a geometric relationship there, 1 over 1 minus R, something like that. I don't know. It's been a while since I've taken a math class. Moral of the story, it takes longer, but you get more out of your resources that way. Unless I've misunderstood the Scroll of Dexterity. I don't think I did, but I could have. Too late anyway now, so I made bodies. So now we need to get about 1.2 million more XP to get to 99. Now I do have 2,500 Dragon Stones that I got from Karapak. It won't take me to 99, but it's easy and fast XP, so let's just cut these real quick and move on. We also have some red sandstone and crystal glass we can blow, but still it's not enough to get us to 99. Although the measure was very useful here. It's got a 5% chance to double the stuff I blow. So here's something I want to try out. Dungeoneering Crafting. I've been told it's the best way to train crafting for Ironman, at least before they have access to Prif Harps. It requires no resources, no inputs like cutting gems or stitching leather, but it also doesn't produce anything. Nothing in, nothing out. All you get is XP. If you go back to the first episode in this series, I said that the Alcarid gemstone mining is the meta for Ironman crafting. You mine the gems, fill your gem bag, then cut them when you stockpile a bunch. Apparently that's not the meta. It's Dungeoneering Crafting, and multiple people made sure to tell me. But I tried Daemonheim Crafting back then, and it just didn't seem good. I don't know how people were getting 100k per hour, maybe I was missing something, but I thought that the gemstone mining was great because I was getting stuff. It was 80k an hour, and I was getting stuff. Like I was getting gems. Gems are nice to have. But, people can't just be making stuff up. I mean, who would do that? It's the internet. People don't lie. Genuinely, though, multiple people told me that this was a good method for crafting, and I saw it on multiple Reddit threads and whatnot. So there's got to be something to it, right? So here's the plan. I'm going to get 99 Dungeoneering, and while doing that, I'm going to try out this Daemonheim Crafting method, see how it works. Oh, now I get it. Okay. With a slightly upgraded Ring of Kinship, you save a bunch of the hides, and you could just craft hundreds of them. Collect the coins in the dungeon, buy all the hides you can, and just make bodies. Then you sell the bodies, buy more hide, repeat. Just keep doing that until you run out of coins. Alright, I get it. This would be amazing for fresh Ironman, no doubt. Harps are probably still better for me right now. It's not as much XP, but it's a hell of a lot easier. I think I'll carry on Dungeoneering and do a bit of crafting before the end of each floor with whatever gold I manage to collect on the way. It won't be a lot of XP, but maybe 10k per floor? It's better than nothing, right? And it won't take that much time. That's a 97 Dungeoneering. Gotta say, dungeons with the Warp Garage and outfit are so nice. You get one free puzzle skip per floor, and you can use the lock melter afterwards. I almost always skip the barrel pushing room. It takes way too long. 98 Dungeoneering, and that's 99 Dungeoneering. The cape is amazing. It lets you teleport to every single resource dungeon in the game, but it's not really the dungeons that matter. The dungeons aren't that great. I mean, some of them have their uses, but it's not the dungeons themselves that you want access to. It's just that the dungeons are in such out-of-the-way locations that having a teleport to them is super handy. There's really no other teleport to those locations. For instance, Dragontooth Island, the Tapperley Hellhounds, the Brimhaven Metal Dragons. All these places you can't get to without getting on a couple ships or walking through a long dungeon. I mean, I guess the Metal Dragons you can teleport with dragon trinkets, but you'd rather use those for something more useful than teleports. It's amazing for clue scrolls. Let's finish up crafting by making some urns. I'll need them for 99 fishing anyway, so there we go. The cape could prove useful in the future. You don't need thread to craft leather, so that's a nice convenience. But you also have a chance to cut every gem in your inventory when you cut one. Could certainly have its uses if I get another 2,500 dragon stones, but I think this will be one of the capes I just keep in my player-owned house cape rack. Don't need it taking up bank space. I've been thinking about construction. The best way to level it for an Ironman with limited planks is via construction contracts. I would like to have the full Master Constructor's outfit for completion's sake, so even if I had a ton of planks, I'd want to train this way, at least until I got the outfit. Trouble is, construction contracts are boring as sin, and you gotta do 250 of them for the full outfit. Why is it so tedious to get? Well, when it was initially released, it was added both as a contract reward and as a reward from Treasure Hunter. If it weren't annoying to get in-game, then people wouldn't have been incentivized to buy keys, would they? Can't let gameplay impose upon buying keys. When people say MTX doesn't affect you if you don't buy it, point to this outfit. I refuse to believe its implementation wasn't heavily affected by Treasure Hunter. I'm sure it's not the developer's fault. It's management. The executives and shareholders expect a certain profit each quarter, ever increasing because that's sustainable, and the easiest way to do that is through microtransactions like loot boxes. There's a reason the industry is full of it. They could make a really good game that keeps attracting more and more players, but that's a lot harder than milking whales. But it's so frustrating that people seem to think that not participating in MTX, like by playing Ironman mode only, means you're unaffected by it. Here's an example from a different game. In World of Warcraft, you can collect a bunch of mounts that you can ride. It's one of my favorite things to do, actually. It's really fun. Blizzard, Blizzard, the company that isn't full of rapey sex pests, does have an in-game shop that sells things like mounts and pets. It's not too bad. I mean, I know why they do it. They make them money. Fine, whatever. Some of the mounts are really high quality, which is frustrating, but they're not the only way of getting high quality mounts. There are plenty of in-game mounts that are really, really nice. So here's the real story. There's a playable race called the Blood Elves, and you can earn a set of cosmetic armor called Heritage Armor by completing a quest with a max level Blood Elf character. The armor looks really good and has a specific Blood Elf aesthetic. It's nice. It's high quality, it's got good textures, it's got good shapes, it's got a good silhouette and everything. It's really nice. It was a good addition. Well, quite recently, Blizzard added another quest quest that rewarded a Blood Elf Heritage mount. It looks like this. It's a Hawkstrider. You see, every race has its own racial mount that they get when they get to a certain level. This is one of the first mounts they get. And for Blood Elves, Hawkstriders are their racial mount. This is just a recolor of their already in-game racial mounts. It's pretty bland, but I mean, I guess it makes sense that the racial mount would be its heritage mount. Fine. Here's the problem. You see, Blizzard started giving out unique mounts to players who've been subscribed for 6 months or buy 6-month subscriptions. They started doing that a few years ago. Here's the most recent 6-month mount, the Nether Gorged Great Worm. Notice something familiar? See how its armor kind of matches the Blood Elf Heritage armor? Similar colors, similar art style, similar shape. I don't think it's unreasonable to say they made this mount with the intention of giving it to the Blood Elves that completed the quest, but decided instead to give out a crappier mount and sell the better looking one. They made an update worse so they could sell something better. I hate it, it's awful, and I doubt it's ever going to change for the better. But for the people who say that not buying microtransactions means it won't affect you, point to stuff like this. They change the updates they make so they could sell the better ones. The content I get as a paying customer, as somebody with a subscription, is worsened because of the cash shop. It's frustrating. Anyway, I'll be doing construction contracts here and there, spreading out the misery rather than doing it all at once. Okay, 95 construction and our first piece of the outfit. 200 more contracts to go. Woo! Yeah, so fun. Here's a weird thing that happened. I decided to randomly do a clue scroll, and I got an Armado plate body. Not really that special, but I had a reroll available. Figured I'd tempt the gods, sacrifice a fortune component for something better. And I got another Armado plate body. What are the odds of that? Also a master clue, so I guess the reroll was worth it. Let's finish up with Firemaking. It's been sitting at 98 for a while, a majority of my XP having come from the accidental fletching and Firemaking update. I made a lot of dino arrows, or are they dine arrows, whatever. Since I never actually lit all 4 of those fire beacons before, you know, the ones that you unlock after the all fired up quest, the ones that award the Inferno ads, I figured I'd use them to get 99. You get a bit over 40,000 XP lighting all the beacons with U-logs. Oh, King rolled an axe that burns logs when I cut them? For me? How else could I ever accomplish something like that? Oh, you shouldn't have. All we need to do is burn down King Rold's palace and 99 firemaking. The most useful skill in the whole game, and we've maxed it. Hold your applause, please. Not only does Ignatius Vulcan sell 60,000 tinderboxes, but he also sells us the Firemaking Cape. I don't know why some skill cape vendors have them in shops and others don't, but it's the same price all the same. This cape acts as a light source and improves the loot we get from fire spirits. So if you just can't stand not training firemaking after 99, make sure to wear this cape. It'll make the skill even more rewarding than it already is. We've just got a few more skills to get to 99. Agility, construction, rune crafting, fishing, cooking, woodcutting, and fletching. Listed in order of most to least painful to level. Fishing and cooking will probably take the longest, to be honest, but it won't be as painful as, say, agility. I think I'll just AFK swarm fishing with the bait and switch relic so I can stockpile a bunch of pretty decent food. Should be easy, should be rewarding. And I'll be doing that while working on a different project that I don't know where it's gonna go, but just keep an eye out for it. You know, you might be interested. All right, thanks for watching.